Bye, bitch.
Well done, you. What's my husband? When did you get so big? His confidence is different. Get ready. It's his altar. Works
Bye, motherfucker.
It's the first eating formula with apomorphine, which helps fire up arousal signals in the brain, combines the serotonin to amplify arousal and performance, not just blood flow. Sleep, he gets harder erections, he gets bigger erections. Yes, we have to use this. It's also up to strong engineering heads, and 81% of men say they prefer any of the treatments. Now, I get one. He gets prescribed on it. It's just my formula. It starts at $8 dose. Long-lasting, confidence.
We are in harmony. Log that is sick, please, will you?
But I'm in an undisclosed location, right? Now because we're talking about this, but in an undisclosed location.
That's fair. But the second part of your answer made it sound otherworldly. And so, what are you talking about here? Is there some consensus among international community that some of these UAPs that we folks have seen,
Chinese, the Americans all have friends. Okay, there's documents that go back decades and decades and decades that those three countries have programs. And David Grush, right? He's one of the folks who talked about these practical programs. I've got to meet all the people who were involved with that movie Disclosure that just came out. Now they're integrated folks. These are legitimate folks. And they've been involved, been in the room. Some of them can't talk about it because they had to sign, non-disclosure agreements. In fact, in one of the hearings, one of the pilots talked to us about how he had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So I don't know how far it goes, right? Some people say they've seen biologics. I don't know that I'm there with that, right? That's like one of those, I need to see it to believe it sort of things. But on the UAP thing, there's definitely more that the United States government is telling us. And the way it's getting paid for, right, is, if you look at the Pentagon, that's an audit forever, right? And things cost an exorbitant amount of money in government procurement. What folks that have looked at this is saying is that they're overcharging for certain programs and misappropriating those funds. Because Congress isn't funding this, they're billing, obviously, but they're moving money around. Remember when we killed Osama bin Laden? We had helicopters that came out of Area 51. These were stealth helicopters that came out of Area 51. This is 11 years ago, or maybe longer now. Go kill Osama bin Laden. Nobody knew about these stealth helicopters. They didn't run a weapons program that was well known, and it came out of Area 51, by the way, because that's where our AT programs come out of, our advanced programs come out of. And the only reason we know about this, Brian, is because one of the helicopters crashed. And that's why we know that these helicopters existed. So there's definitely government programs that the American people are under.
So the only branch then that would have any insight into any of this would be the executive branch, because clearly, as a member of Congress, if the sitting Republican sit on it, if anybody would have some information, colleagues who sit on that, but you guys have no insight into
Bye, motherfucker.
About disclosure, there are people from government who come down and go to the HPSCI committee, right, and go to armed services and try to stop that stuff. So, and that was the thing that we found most interesting on the oversight committee, which is, if there's nothing there, why are people from the government trying to stop the language? Why did Harry Reid have such a hard time to get language in? Why did Chuck Schumer have such a hard time to get language in? Why did Marco Rubio have such a hard time?
Yeah, what's up?
There's nothing there. If it's all fake, if it doesn't exist, why are people in the government trying to stop it from coming out?
And so, last question here.
What? Yes, it's your fault, Brian. Yes,
Is all of this my fault? So, last question here. What can be done? What are you doing right now to try and get some more exposure on this stuff?
Well, I think you'll see maybe this week a bunch of us in Congress do a press conference on a bipartisan basis to try to talk about more disclosure, more information, to take the president's words and say, okay, now let's turn that into action. Let's get some of these documents